Hey guys, happy Monday. Happy fun day. Today is day 4 of Sorcery Salon. And so today we are talking about day 4, Sorcery Salon. Today we're talking about bodies again. 3 phases of the Sorceress of Success include the body, they include your relationships, and they include your wealth and your finances. Today, I want to talk about sorcery with your own your body as the source, your body as the sorceress of your own success. Now, the type of person that tends to come to work with me has gone and seen these amazing leaders, has learned all of these energetic body processes, is tapped into their own physical form. However, you may be a very sensitive person. You may be getting confusing information inside your body. And I really feel like a whole phase on the sorcery that's available with bodies is so freaking important. And you know why? You know why it's so important is because there's so much contradictory information out there about like what's healthy, what you're allowed to ask for with your body, like even looking at like indoctrination and sin and what's bad, and the body um, leads us into temptation. Like all of that kind of information just makes me crazy, you guys, just crazy. So like I always say, there's a big lineup to get here to embody on planet Earth inside a human body. There's all of these souls that want to come and have an experience inside a human body. Well, the human body has so much information that it can give you. Now, when we look at your charts, we look at your human design body graph, there's just so much information. And the information can come across as anxiety. It can come across as depression. It can come across as pains in your body. It can come across as melancholy. It can come across as anger, frustration, bitterness, disappointment. The information that your body is receiving, if it's receiving it, which it always is, guys, all of those sensations are showing up in your body. And one of the things that I love to show you is how to decipher how your body receives information. Now, in your human design body graph, you have a strategy and an authority. And I think it goes so much further beyond strategy and authority. So say you're a splenic manifester. How do you know that that information that you're receiving is from your spleen? Like, how do you actually know? And I've been working with bodies for a very, very long time. And so I can feel what your body is feeling. I'm a medical intuitive. I can feel what your body is feeling, and I can start to invite you into what that actually feels like for you. And so, Sorceress of Success, I would say probably the biggest thing that it does in all of the 9 phases is it gets you to trust your own personal GPS, your internal GPS, and actually know what that feels like. Now, so the sorcery part of this is all of the tips and tricks and strategies that I've learned over the years. I've studied with some really amazing coaches and trainers. I used to actually do coaching and training for a company called Access Consciousness. And so a ton of body stuff, a ton of body stuff. And so that never goes away. And when I put my hands on people's bodies, the feedback is that they receive a ton. And when I show people how to do the stuff that I know how to do, the feedback is that they receive a ton. But what do I want to tell you today? What I want to tell you today is I want to invite you to what's really happening right now, and what has been happening for a very long time is these things, this information that your body is giving you. The patriarchy has told you, oh, well, you can't possibly know that. You can't possibly feel that. Here's some drugs to make that go away. Here, have some wine, have some weed, just distract yourself. And I would say more and more and more people are less inclined to be distracted from what's going on, distracted from their life's purpose, distracted from the work that really fills them up. They want to be here, they want to be on purpose. And the people who are choosing to work with me are on purpose. They know that there's something for them to do on this planet. They may be slightly confused about just different vectors, but they are deeply committed to fulfillment, deeply committed to their own personal success, feeling a life where they like are deeply, deeply satisfied, and yeah, they get to do what they came here to be and do. And so, one of the things that I find so deeply frustrating is all of the distraction factors. And I really notice how much distraction is just sort of a normal state of affairs, especially with people who grew up with these cell phones. You know, I look at my own son and my other son and my daughter in law, and oh my gosh, they spend so much time on these cell phones. It's like, I really feel like it's sucking their will to live. And I mean, the irony is, I'm using my cell phone to create this little broadcast, and I'm very, very grateful for that. That I do have the ability to be seen and heard and to invite you into my process. And how much distraction is too much distraction. And so sorcery is when you know this level of homeostasis, right? Like, what is your homeostasis? So, when I talk to people about homeostasis, it's like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon and people are running you over. You are a complete doormat. You are at the effect of the cosmos and, running around and doing what I call step and fetch. And then, way over at 9 or 10 o'clock, you're like, it all, fuck you, and the horse that you rode in on. And so repressive or reactionary, depending on where you're looking. And, that comes to me, and like you could just be whatever you want to be. You may not even notice because a lot of this is very, very unconscious. So, the unconscious is that whole red side of your chart, you guys, is completely unconscious. And you can, like, no, you can read the keynotes of that unconscious side, but you will only ever see the results of your unconscious choices until you start to get mentorship, until you start to get coaching, until you come into a community where people can gently mirror back to you, like, hey, you were talking about this thing, but then you made a choice that was completely against that thing. Did you change your mind? And in some cases, people are like, oh my God, I didn't realize that I was continuing to choose that thing that was poisonous for me. And a lot of people do. A lot of people are choosing things that are poisonous for themselves. And so the distractions, like, what are your poisonous distractions? And then when you could start to feel into your body as the source, wouldn't it be really cool if your body was like, don't fucking choose that? And I would say that that is a muscle. And the more you tap into these energy centers of your body, the more you begin to manifest correctly, the more you begin to know what it is that you came here to be and do. And then you're like, wow, 70% of what I came here to be and do is my personality sun. So for me, mine is the 46, which is the rainmaker, delight, lightness, ecstasy. And I've had so many ecstatic moments in my life where I'm like, oh my freaking God, like, look at this. How did I even get here? This is so freaking delightful. And so when my life doesn't feel like that, the shadow frequency of the 46 is seriousness. And you guys, I have been fired. I have been fired for not being serious enough. I was not in the right place and space. And I've had people say, are you ever serious? And I think to myself, no. Because once you get stone cold serious about something, you absolutely can't change it. And I don't know if you remember that old song, She's the Kind of Girl That Laughs at a Funeral. And yeah, I kind of am. And, like the irony of a situation, the sort of like, I don't even know if I'm going to say it right, but it's just like there's this German word Schadenfreude or Schadenfreude or something like that. But it's just like laughing at the dark things. And I really feel like if we did that more, um, there would be less control and you would be less controllable. And I would say that that's really one of the things. Like when you step into the sorcery with your body, you as the source, your anxiety goes down, your melancholy goes down, your depression goes down, and your approach to manifestation using your body as the vehicle goes up. Because like, why do you need to manifest things? Well, you need to manifest things because you need to have a beautiful place to live. You need to have yummy things in your cupboards and in your fridge. You need to have events that you're planning on going to that you super love. You need to have some vacation time. You need to have some sunshine in the winter and, maybe going skiing or learning something new. That's one thing for me. I love to learn. I love to learn. And so if I don't have the funds to be able to learn or to grow, then that's really not delightful for me. I'm not in the right place if I don't have the funds to be able to learn and to grow. And so your body needs wealth, which we are going to be talking about in 2 days from now. Sorcery with wealth. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about sorcery in your own personal relationships. But what I want to invite you to is that your body is consistently, continuously receiving information. So if you know what neutrinos are little data bits coming in from space, and your body is at the effect of the data bits. And so you need to be able to know what data bits are affecting you at what time. And then you need to be able to know some basic astrology, which obviously I would be teaching you. And then also you need to know, like, what are the frequencies that you are here to embody? Body. So that whole red side of your chart is all about your body and your experience in your body. So on the other side, in my red sun, in my design sun, it's called, is the 15, which is the wild woman. I was going to say medicine woman, but it's not. It's the wild woman. And so the ability to be a wild person and not at the effect of doctrine and not at the effect of the state and not at the effect of like anybody. And I remember a while ago, I was wondering, like, hey, why am I not getting invited? I was like a facilitator for a corporation. I was like, well, why am I not getting invited to share some of my knowledge? And this friend of mine said to me, well, how controllable are you? And I was like, you're right, I'm not all that controllable. So if they did invite me to share my knowledge may give people way too much freedom. And I would say that that's something that I really, really stand for, is that when I bring you my knowledge gives you more freedom. It doesn't enroll you in my process. I mean, I do Sorcerers of Success is a 9-step system, but my process is really not the most important process. Bringing you closer to how you receive information in your body, giving you new ways of using energy to approach your body. Super, super important. And knowing what parts of your body are going to give you the key information. So for myself, I have what's called the full sacral smile. So I have emotionally defined, I'm also sacrally defined and spleenically defined. And I'm also very psychic. And so for me, I have to be very, very careful that I ground it in the body, the information that I'm receiving. So see if you can learn from this, that I have to ground it in the body, the information that I'm receiving, even if I feel like complete shit, even if I feel like I have massive imposter syndrome, even if I feel like, oh wow, like all of these directions that are available to me now are complete shit, like I'm not a good manifester, like this is what an emotional person would be doing at all times. And when I knew that, when I learned that my emotional wave is going to be percolating almost constantly, and a lot of the stuff that comes across my awareness isn't even mine, you guys. It's not. I have a completely open crown. And so the thoughts that are in there, 99% of the time, they're actually not mine. And so when I ground myself in my process, when I have an inquiry process with my gut and an inquiry process with my sacral center and an inquiry process with a bunch of different parts of my body and get that information. And then I look for what I call vectors. It's like, okay, I saw this, I heard this, and I felt this. So this is what I want to invite you to today is where have you seen something, heard something, and then been invited to something or you felt something, and where do those all match? Because that's how you balance into your body and really go into that body sorcery phase where you are using your body, using yourself as the source, and getting the information that is correct for you. Because I can tell you a billion different possibilities. That's what I'm built for. You know, when I look at your charts, all of the possibilities light up. I have the full talent channel. So I have access to what you could possibly choose to really turn your life on. What do you call it? My motivation is desire. And so desire motivation is all about like, what's the turn on? What's exciting? You know, what is desirable in this circumstance? And what really delights me on this planet is when more people are in their correct work, when more people are making super great money for the amazing things that they do on the planet, when they are uncontrollable, when they are when they are sovereign, you know, like that's just so, so important to me. And one of the things that used to just drive me nuts, like I've gone to name brand facilitators. And so, you know, I would go to these 7-day events or these 5-day events. And, you know, I watch people get all pumped up with these events, you know, and their bodies are feeling free and they're like, you know, receiving miracles with their bodies. But nobody has gone through a sovereignty checklist with them. And so they're making choices based on being sovereign, but are they actually sovereign? And so I know I'm not talking about sovereignty today. I've got 3 other videos on my profile that you can check out talking more about sovereignty with your body, with your relationships, and with your wealth. But just what drives me absolutely insane, and the reason why I created this program, because I can teach sorcery every day, all day for the rest of my life. I can teach people how to wave hands over bodies, as I call it, you know, create miracles with bodies every day, all day. But this is the biggest thing that I noticed was that it was very, very difficult for people to make lasting change because they were not sovereign. And so if you watch the whole set of videos, I'm going to be going live until New Year's, Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year. And today talking about sovereignty with body, or sorry, sorcery with bodies. Tomorrow, sorcery with relationships. The next day, sorcery with your wealth and finances. And then we're on to the third phase, which is serenity and being serene and being so freaking relaxed about your manifestation process. Because I will tell you, you cannot make great money. You cannot have a pain free, relaxed, switched on, gorgeous body and great, great relationships with people unless you have all of it: serenity, sorcery, and also sovereignty. And so, what do I want to leave you with? This sorcery phase, when you're going through it with the Sorceress of Success, I'm teaching you a body inquiry process. And so these body inquiry processes are going to be bespoke. They are custom to you. This is a couture process. And so I'll be teaching the classes, obviously, and there will be a lot of open mic time for people to say, okay, well, I think this is my process, but can we please tweak it? And, like what personalized healing is available to me? This is me pretending to be you. And then what is your key? There will be a lot of healing with my ideal clients. There will be a lot of healing that's available to you. And so whether you're, a hands-on energetic healer, or you're some kind of coach, or maybe your healing is through technology, like maybe you are able to build apps or build websites, or some sort of tech that way, that creates a simplicity process for people. Those are the type of people that are interested. People who have sort of mathematical brains, engineer brains, are definitely attracted to me as well. And yeah, so freaking interesting, you guys. I love that you're watching. I know that there's so much that you could be listening to. And, if you follow my stuff, you know that I try to be as embodied in my process as possible. And I highly recommend it to you. The only way that you can be the source of your own success is to go out there and experience the fruits of your own success with your body. Absolutely. Dancing, painting, laughing, loving, eating really great food, going on vacations, taking a freaking break. And that's one of the things that I really, really do at the beginning, especially in my one-on-one, is we talk about like how many days a week are you working and how many days a week do you actually have to work? Because, your body as the source of your own success, if you are burnt out, if you aren't attracting the type of money that you need in order to be able to take really, really great care of your body, if you are in pain, if you are anxious, if you are attracting the money, but it's flying out the door as fast as it comes in, those are all really, really good indicators that you are not in the sorcery place with your body. You need to go back to sovereignty. And that's okay. Like, there will be lots of times in your life where you are going to be in one of these vectors, one of these 9 vectors that I've identified. So I want to say thank you so much for listening today. Please join me tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be 333 because I actually have a client, which I love. And so tomorrow is 333, and we're talking about relationship sorcery and how to be the source of juicy fun times in your relationships with your lover, with your spouse, with your kids, with your clients, and that it can be all so juicy and magical. Yeah. So thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to watch the other videos, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Ciao.